right. Press conference after the first game against Hungary, 2-1 win. The next 3 games, 3 wins in this Euros group, Euro qualification group. You may ask your questions to our head coach, Pia Sundhage.
You surprised us with the position of Miriam Terschun. What was your idea with her as a wingback, and how are you happy with her performance?
Yes, I would like to surprise people. I think that's a good way to stay on your toes. And the fact is that I don't think we have that many defenders, and she's tough. She can run up and down the flank, and I thought it was a good idea to try her today. And Larina is on the other side. I was very happy with both of the performances. I usually say that you need a lot of courage, you need to be brave, step out of the comfort zone and so on. And that I try to lead by example by actually bringing in 2 outside backs, never been playing there before, against Hungary, which is in the qualification. And I'm happy with what we've seen today.
You would have had other players for this position as well, which stayed on the bench or didn't come in. Is it also just really important for you that the player always plays in their club? Because, for example, Daniel Wiesen didn't come there.
Of course, it's a big advantage if they do play, in the starting lineup or get some minutes or even 90 minutes, day out and day in. So, and the performance, of course, they're more prepared if they do that. But I don't have a rule, she is not playing many minutes in the club team. We really try to look at in practice, and we need some backup. So we need 4 outside backs, full backs. We need, in the best scenario, we have centre backs as well. So we try, and this is, I think it's a good idea right now because it really matters. And at the same time, if there is a failure, that's okay. It's okay to make a mistake. So I think it's good timing, and we're going to continue to do that.
How happy were you with the setup of your midfield? I mean, you've established your axis with Elvira, Viola, Luana, and then in front of her, Ramona, Kumba, and Geraldine. How happy are you with the central setup?
I think it was actually good and bad. There are situations where it looks really good, and I think we need to be flexible. That's our idea. If you look the formation in the midfield, that's one thing. And the reason I'm saying it's not so good is because we are giving away the ball way too easy. Today there was a situation where there could have been counterattacks, but we prevented that and defended that quite well. It will be the next level in the European Championship. We cannot afford to get dispossessed so many times. But I think it's a good start. And as I said, we need to be flexible. And today we won 2-1. And that's something we're going to bring to the next game as well.
If I may add, Smila's positioning also. I was expecting her to sometimes pivot inside. So we have a 4 against 3 in the middle. That didn't happen too much. Was that your device, or was that more of her instinct to stay more on the sidelines?
It's a little bit of both, and to be honest. We constantly talk about, we try to regain the ball, okay? So, and I think we could do that a little bit better, and we, even the players say we can be more aggressive. So if we can't regain the ball, we try to reshape the team in a 4-4-2. That could go quicker, and the distances between, if you look at the midfielders, we're gonna bring it up, and we're gonna try to be even more compact, because I think that is the key. Regardless who you're playing, if we are compact in the defense, I think we're gonna be fine.
Lucas?
Of the first goal, I saw you celebrating like maybe never before. Did you train that attack on the side?
Yeah, we are a little bit, would you say, childish, or because we are working on certain things, and you really want that to happen. And when it does, because now we have great videos, we're going to show them over and over again. And when you have this game plan and good things happen in the game, yeah, we're going to show that goal many times for sure. So. And the first goal is important. I think it was a really good goal. So that's good.
Are you happy what you saw on the game tonight?
As I said, of course I'm happy because we're winning. You can't take anything for granted. You had the ranking list and so on, but every single 90 minutes game, it is actually a game where it's 0-0 in the very beginning. So, and we've been winning 3 games in a row. So that win is important. That's something you gain confidence. That means then you bring up certain things that are really good. And I think there are, like the goal, for instance, or the way we sometimes got behind the back 4. We talk very much about playing in behind and in between the lines, and how to get behind the last line. So there will be footage, there will be video, and I'm happy with that. If you look at Pupil, she almost scored a goal. It would be a perfect world, because we said, the way she's going to get the ball is behind the back line, because she's fast, and we were really close. And those kind of tactical stuff, of course, we're going to bring up. And there are some good things we can take out of this, and some things we really need to do better.
How do you explain the difficulties at the beginning of the game? Because the 15 first minutes were difficult, so the Switzerland was not so dominant.
That's a question I will ask the players. Because, of course, there are certain things that makes them, they are in the right position, but sometimes, they make the wrong decision. And that is a lesson to learn, and something to talk about. What is good is it turned out to be, we kept the ball a little bit better. But the first minutes looks like, that's something I think we need to talk about, because there will be the first minutes in the European Championship as well.
If I may reattach that getting behind the back line topic. Serena Pupil, Alicia Lehmann, Halaya Pilgrim, Aurelie Schilak, we see that you have that type of player already sorted out for that type of game. However, are you also thinking down the line bringing in maybe a more physical or more positional striker?
It all depends on the performance, because the players you really mentioned now, there are, I think, really good options. If you look at that striker, there's so many things that are happening just before, if you look at the final pass. Where does the final pass come from? So it could come from further behind, but also that ball could also get just in front of the back line before you play the last ball. So the performance from we started, let's see if there are more options when you look at strikers, because the players you mentioned now, they are very different, I think.
Yes, but again, we saw you win a lot of titles with Abby Wambach, and that kind of play we're still missing, I think, in the choices.
On the other hand, I would say there is only one Ambi Warmback, first of all. Yeah. But if you look at when the ball is played in to the highest player, that's target. So if you look around, who is the best to deal with that? And maybe that quality, instead of playing that ball, you play behind and next to her. So it's a little bit of a tactics, and it's depending on who you play as well. So there's a lot of things that plays in place that if we're gonna, what kind of forward we're gonna, because we have Ramona Bachmann as well, sitting underneath, and her position I think will be important as well.
After the 2 games against Poland, you told your players to practice headers at home. Then now afterwards you scored like 4 goals in 2 games with headers. Then now you said to your players, you want to try attack over the wings. You score a goal over the wings. Is it sometimes that easy, or what everything seems to work out for you?
No. Now, when it comes to leadership and coaching, I really have to repeat things that we look at the playing idea. So, because after the game we are thinking, how could you create more chances? And we have prepared them for change the point of attack, and when it's on, try to play in between or behind the back line. It could have happened much more often. And we're going to go back and see when and why are we dispossessed. No, we're going to repeat the things many times.
Of your young guns, only Noemi got to warm up. Will we see the other younglings in Budapest? Or do you not know yet?
No, I don't. I have not talked to my assistant coaches yet. We're going to look. Most likely, it will be a different starting lineup, but we need to think about look again against the match again. And there will be some practices and then we have an idea of the starting lineup. But I would love to see one of the younger players, if not being a starting lineup, at least coming off the bench. I think that will be good for the team, but also good for that or those players as well.
2 more questions.
Maybe one final, not directly involved with the match, but how are you looking towards the transfer market now for your players? Are you paying attention?
Yeah, well, we mentioned players not playing 90 minutes and so on. I have individual talks to each one of them, and let's see what's happening. Yeah. And then I think it's a little bit tricky, the fact that it's only Smilla and Ramona Bachmann who are actually playing before we're going to play the next 2 games. So my high-performance coaches and myself, we're looking to what could we do in order to prepare them. Well, let's see if anybody, if they stay in the same club, but right now I have no clue.
What would you recommend to a player who plays in a good league but doesn't play there and now has an offer from a Swiss club, for example, FC Zurich or Servette or whatever? What would you recommend? Better stay at a better club where you don't play, or?
Well, that's a tricky question because it depends on who it is. I gave you an example. There are a player not playing a lot, but the club plays 11 versus 11 once a week. So there's great practices. So it depends on who it is. I would not try to recommend this or that. The most important thing is that the player feels that She improves her game. She thinks she has a chance and that she's happy, because happy players are good players. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for attending the press conference.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to our next game against Hongrie again on Tuesday.
Thank you.